You know that feeling when you walk into your house at night and either you're by yourself or you're the first one in, fully dark in your house, can't even tell if anybody's in there. You might even think you see eyes in the dark. You're sitting there with yourself and you actually start to hype yourself up. You might even scare yourself, building up this image in your head of what might happen to you. So instead of fumbling around the dark, knocking things over, you actually take out your phone, put on the light, find the light switch, turn on the lights in the house, and then keep it pushing. The light on your phone is what allowed you to pierce through the confusion and the feelings of that situation. It allowed you to focus on your goal. And so our tool reveals itself. The flashlight in a dark room. There's no clearer example of where your attention is than when you're using a flashlight in the dark. Granted, most of you don't have the pleasure of fumbling around in a crawl space or an attic with one hand on all threes with a flashlight in the other hand, just because you either forgot your headlamp or you just didn't have all your stuff with you that day. And to be honest, you really don't need to be experienced to have experienced that particular situation to know it's probably not that much fun. Just to paint a picture for you, as you're moving, your light is shining around in every different direction. You only have one hand to work with if you have to use a screwdriver, pliers. There's no nice shelves or bookcases or clean surfaces to rest your tools on. It's really less than ideal. But while it sometimes sucks, I would much rather have a flashlight and one free hand than two free hands and no flashlight. Being fully capable with no vision puts you at the same level as a day one newbie that doesn't know the difference between a nut and a bolt. And life is not any different. If you don't have focus, you're not going to get your desired result. If your focus is shaky, then your results are going to be shaky. You have to pick where your attention goes, and you have to choose to keep it steady on there, because your flashlight doesn't change what's in the room. All it does is determine what you can see. I know I'm not alone in saying this. I've had seasons where I was so focused on what was going wrong that I couldn't see what was going right. Bills were due, kids were acting up, work stress was piling up, and I started telling myself that nothing ever works out. That was the light that I was using to look around at my situation. And you might not be surprised to find out that I ended up starting to see more of the same. I started to see more stress, more lack, more frustration, and the abundance was not visible, not even close. But I was blessed enough to be reminded of something. But one day I was reminded of something very important. You have to start with gratitude. And with that reminder, I chose to start a list. I started writing down daily what I was grateful for. I identified some things that were working, I identified some things that we overcame, and immediately, nothing was fixed, but the situation didn't feel nearly as heavy as it did before I started doing so. While I didn't have the words at the time, I now know that I basically forced myself to reframe how I was looking at the situation. And sometimes that's what you have to do. A reframe, like I said, it's not a magical fix, but what it does is it gives you clarity. It reminds you that this too shall pass. That thought gives you hope that tomorrow will be better, and allows you to get out of the circumstances that you might feel like you were stuck in a moment before you had that thought. The key is to control your focus. The key is to point your focus where you want it. If you point it at fear, you're going to find fear. If you point it at faith, you're going to start to see the path. And this concept is actually more than a mindset thing. It's called many things. You can call it manifestation. You can call it law of attraction. You can call it brain wiring. Either way, whatever you want to call it, is real because it works, not just for me, but for many people. What you focus on rules you. Very simple. Don't miss this. Focus doesn't just rule your mindset. As a man thinketh, so be he. It rules your habits, your emotions, your conversations, your relationships, your spiritual peace, your finances, your life, basically your entire life. When you look at case studies, you find that generous people, they focus on abundance. Grateful people, they focus on the blessings that they've been able to receive in their lifetime. And on the flip side, angry people, they focus on wounds and scars and ow, it hurts. Poor me, I'm the victim. Your focus is your frequency. And just like a flashlight, you control where that frequency is, where your flashlight points. The Bible says in Matthew 6:22 and 23, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Translation, where you look, what you focus on, that directly determines your internal condition. God calls us to fix our eyes on the unseen, not the seen, not on the lack, but on the promise, not on the problems, but on the provider. You get to decide where you aim your light at, but there's a lot of rules, regulations, and guidance that's already been put out on where you should be looking. All I'm saying is don't be surprised if all you're seeing is trouble when trouble is all you're scanning for. So here's your homework for this week. 3 easy steps. 1, you're going to choose a focus. Pick one area in your life that you want to experience more growth or more peace, all right? Marriage, parenthood, relationships, business. You pick it, you choose it, this is your life. Number 2, you have to write it down. The power of writing it down means that you make it real and you can keep yourself accountable. Number 3, point your flashlight at your note and at your focus every day. This means talk about it, pray over it, give thanks for what you already have worked on and achieved towards that goal. Take a small step towards that goal every single day. Stay focused. And here's the multiplier for your actions. Find a way to be generous. Find a way to pour into somebody else this week in that same area. Whether it's time, wisdom, money, find a way to give out of faith, not fear. You got to tap into the law of reaping and sowing in order to start, pushing yourself forward. We're almost at the end of our Toolbox journey on week 11 or 12. And I like to think for those that have been with us on this journey, we've gotten a lot of value. If focus has been something that's been hard for you, understand you are not alone, not even slightly. That's why you have to find a community and become part of a community. And that's why we're building this community, because you don't have to walk in the dark any longer, not in this day and age. There's enough people that want you to be better just because we want you to be better. We want the world to be better. It starts with 1. Download the free Toolbox guide if you haven't already. Remember to use your journal to track your wins, your focus, write your prayers down. They matter, trust and believe. And if this message hit home, please share it with somebody that needs to change what they're looking at. You could be the change for them. So help point them in the right direction. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's continue to build this together. Peace.